Page 32, the Strauss Dynasty. At the top of the page, they talk about the Strauss family. It's the father and three sons. They wrote a lot of very famous music, mostly waltzes, not all. They wrote other things besides waltzes, but a lot of, generally speaking, when people think of a waltz, they think of a Strauss waltz. This is a compilation or medley, a group of different waltzes from this family. So let's look at it. 3/4 time, well, it's a waltzes, okay. It's got one flat, so it's either an F major or D minor or maybe both, who knows. Starts out in F major and it ends in F major, but it may switch in the middle, I'm not sure. Let's take it one hand at a time, make sure we get the notes and the fingering and all. Because this is orchestra music, this is not piano music. And sometimes when people take orchestra music and write it for piano, it doesn't work real well under the fingers. So let's just look here. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, and again I'm going to connect everything I can except for the rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now they're saying come here. I don't like that. I would prefer to do this. The first two measures are fine. The third measure, and the second one I'm going to go with 1, 3. So I just switched. I switched during the rest rather than the way they're doing it. 1, 2, and then a 1, 3. And at the end of the line, first line they're saying 1, 3, and then for the second one come down and do a 3, 5. This way we're in position for the second line. You can do a 4 or 5 if you want, whatever. Second line. Here in the third measure and second line, you stay where you are because we want a thumb here, and that's okay. And if this doesn't work with thumb on B flat, do second finger. That's fine. And then we go to the third line. Just lift up and move. 1 and 2 and 3 and. You're stretched out here in this position. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and fourth measure over, or fifth measure, excuse me, I'd do fourth finger on B flat. Last line on page 32. It's the fourth measure over, you have the thumb on the dotted half note, and then you're coming up here. 1 and 2 and 3. And the thumb, I do third finger or fourth finger on the B flat. You need to be able to reach that. So third finger or fourth finger, whichever. And then going on, top of page 33. Fifth finger there for the here, and then a 4, 4, 2. See, it's the chord. It's just a broken chord. 2, and that's tied, and then you do it again. And again, it's 2, 5 there. Again, it's just a chord. And here, second line. On page 33, second measure is fine, but then going down here, this arpeggio going down. Remember I talked about arpeggios here. Here, 3 on the F, not 2, and then a 1. I just don't like doing a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 if I don't have to, and so I don't. So I do that. And going on, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2. Fourth finger there. Last 3 measures at the bottom. You're here. And there's other fingers we could use. Just do that. You just lift up for the chord. That's fine. In the left hand we have the broken chords, the chuck chuck. So it's 4, It's a sharp. It's a B flat C. And on the third line. 1, 2, 3. So you're changing around a little bit, but you're kind of anchored here. 1, 2, 3. Top of page 33, you're back to chuck chucks again. Fourth finger. Actually, you can use third finger if you want, because that's the chord, and that's the fingering. Or fourth finger. Now, if you have really little hands, this is the last 4 measures of the first line on page 33 here. Little hands, when you're coming down here, you can play the F and G with the thumb together. Just bring the thumb out a little bit and play. We do this a lot. There's nothing, it helps people with little hands. So otherwise, you can do it that way because that's a stretch. Let's put the hands together. What do we get? Well, we're here. Make sure you play these rests in the right hand. That is your quiet. Top of page 33, we're back to this. Rhythm-wise is not too tricky, I hope. Then we can go back and we can add the articulation, the staccatos and slurs and things. Nice slight wrist staccato. With the left hand, they don't give you any articulation here. I typically will play the first 2 beats connected, and then I'll play the chords disconnected. You have to. So, second line on the last 4 measures or so, you have it here. Just hang on to that. So the quarter note is staccato, but not the half note. Hang on to the half note. And then third line, this is all connected here except for the slurs, the lift up in the right hand. But connect this left hand all the way through. And then at the top of page 33, go ahead and do chuck chucks again, but follow the slurs in the right hand. Going on, follow the slurs in the right hand, and it's still more or less an oop chuck chuck in the left hand. So put in the articulation. Then we can go back and try something with the dynamics. The dynamics apply to the melody, and this is the right hand, usually the top note in the right hand. If you can't bring out the top note, then try and bring out the right hand as best you can. Keep the left hand soft in the background. We want to hear the melody. Loud, whatever you think loud is. In the second line, you're going to go up to very loud there in the 4th measure. Slow down. And even in the left hand, when I slow down, those notes get a little longer. And now you're down to moderately soft in the right hand, very soft in the left hand. You're going to stay in that area until the top of page 33. You come up a little bit to moderately loud. You're going to stay in that area until you get down to the 3rd line. Then you're going to go up to loud in the right. It's like you were at the beginning with loud. The left hand stays in the background. Speed-wise, it changes slightly. Tempo de valse is a tempo of a waltz, and you got fast waltzes and slow waltzes. Just think of a typical waltz. 1, 2, 3. into the second line, you slow down. In the third line, it says a tempo, which means go back to what you were doing. And espressivo means expressively, but you got to get to know it well enough that you're not thinking about notes and rhythms, and you can get into the music. But it's about the same speed you were going. So forth. And the top of page 33, animato is animated. You're going to speed this up just a hair. Up just a little bit. And then the third line, it says con brio, which means with brilliance, but you're going to stay your speed. You sped it up before you're staying there. So you're ending it kind of on a really exciting note. Nice and loud and all that. Get to know it first where you can start feeling these dynamics and things and speeds and so forth. And then they've added pedal. Well, it's an orchestra piece. We like to have the overtones, but we don't want to cover up the staccatos if we can help it. And so they're not pedaling everything, fortunately. But if I pedal it the way they're showing, this is what it sounds like. I'm going to start on the third line where the pedal is in and it's overlapping. That's what it's going to be. Now I get to the top of page 33, it's this. And then the third line down, it's this. If that's okay to you, then go with it. I don't care for it at all. So I can use more of a waltz style pedaling. There's a couple varieties. One would be if I just hold the note down or put the pedal down on the first beat of each measure. I just reinforce the natural accent. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So in the third line, if I do that way. That gives that impression. I can hear the slurring a little better with it, but it's a little choppy. Maybe I hold the pedal down for the first 2 beats and lift it up on the third beat of every measure. Then I get this. So forth. That smooths it out a little bit. And I can still hear the slurring in the right hand. So it's your choice on the effect you're wanting with the pedal. I think I prefer to have it down for 2 beats, the first 2 beats, and I'll lift it up on the third. And I would do that throughout all page 33 where they're showing pedaling. And you're not pedaling absolutely everything. Like in the third line at the beginning, you don't pedal that pickup note. We want to hear a silence between the second and third line. So forth. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. I'd like to play this with you very slowly just to double check the notes and everything. I'll give us 3 counts. I'm just going to take it at 1 speed throughout. I'm going to pedal it as I suggest you. Just pedal the first 2 beats of each measure for most of the measures. I mean, some of the measures you can pedal the whole measures, like the last 2 measures at the end of the second line on page 33 here. You can pedal all of that if you wanted to, or whatever. Make sure you lift up before you go on so there's a little silence. There. Now give us 3 counts. Let's just try it together. I'm not going to do any dynamics. 1, ready, go. Two, three, off.